Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. So I had to, I have to pick up Daniel and Anna. They're coming back from their honeymoon. I mean, their taco moon in Mexico. I want to show you the moon. I didn't realize it was a full moon. I thought that was a couple days ago. Look at that. It's setting, which of course means that sunrise is going to happen at exactly the same time. That'll be behind me. I could not believe the amount of traffic on the highway. I got up at 4 because I woke up and I thought, I have to be there at 8:40 and I haven't even thought about what time I'm leaving. And if I just go back to sleep, I could just sleep in. Of course, I've been getting into doing that lately, sleeping until 8. But then I better get up and I can go to Ottawa and I can sit in the cell phone parking lot and wait for their flight to arrive. I could even go park underneath the airplanes and watch them come overhead. I haven't done that in years. The possibilities are endless. Oh, here, we gotta watch this moon. It's going down. There it goes. Well, it's going down behind that building anyway. Well, isn't that just lovely? I think the full moon is so cool. I want to get out and go for a walk around here, but not badly enough to do it. Anyway, I haven't been talking to you guys lately because I want to watch YouTube. And so I think, oh, should I make a video or should I check on YouTube? And so I check on YouTube. There's this one guy. It's called Their Places, the House Rules. RHR? OT. I don't know what the name of it is, but anyway, they have the most hilarious game. It's called Communopoly 1. So what they did, these two guys that make these, they take board games and they change them around. Remember my Scrabble game? I love changing Scrabble games. We gotta look at the moon again. Hold on. Wait, did we lose it? There it goes. I know, not a perfect view, but it's out there. There's a moonset. Moonset and sunrise. Anyway, so I watched this video. Ben showed it to me. Communopoly. So these two guys, one guy, what's his name? Alan? Starts with an A. Not Alice. It starts with an A though, I think. Anyway, so it's his channel. And he's got this other guy, so Alan or whoever, he has a narrow face, and the other guy has a more rounded face. And they do these things pretty well together sometimes. And Alan hired Dom to create a communist form of monopoly. I mean, monopoly is all about capitalism, right? And so, well, they're going to change it to communism. Anyway, so Dom, he's pretending he's Stalin. And he's got this pipe in his... I don't know if Stalin smoked a pipe, but Stalin was in charge of Russia for a while. I think he was after Lenin. And I don't know, maybe it was the USSR. No, I think it was Russia. Whatever it was, I don't know enough. So Dom is like the rules of the game, So first of all, there's free parking. If you land on free parking, you get to smuggle money to the West. But you put the money on free parking, and if anybody else lands on free parking in the meantime, they get the money. And you go to jail and you disappear. Anyway, okay, let me see if I can think about this. I got people parking in the lot and the moon is setting. It's gone. It's gone. So the sun, here we come. Sunrise is happening out there. Now it's time to turn my car to watch the sunrise, right? Okay, so that's free parking. Now, a stop, do not pass go is called, it's changed to, it's not stop, it's something else, a 4-letter S word that's Russian, I guess. It's not stay. Anyway, stot. Anyway, whatever. So instead of you pass go and you collect $200, no. You pass go and you have to pay $50 to bribe the authorities. And then they've changed community chest is now communist test. And if you get the questions wrong, you go to jail. And you have to roll doubles 3 times. No, you roll doubles to get out of jail. But if at any time in the entire game you roll 3 doubles, you go to jail or you disappear. One or the other. Usually jail, then disappear. Now, see, there's another one that's, they've changed chance to no chance. It's got this sickle. Is it a sickle and star? No, see, the sun is now rising. See, we now have sunlight hitting things. Oh my gosh, the traffic was so busy. 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was already thick traffic. I mean, it wasn't bumper to bumper, but it was like summer on Highway 7. I mean, summer on Highway 7 is bad news. Anyway, so it's interesting also, as I drove by people's houses before I got to the main highways, all these cars with their lights on in their driveways, and it wasn't 6 o'clock yet. Hey, I'm getting cold now. Oh, I don't want the car to get cold. These people have been in Mexico, and it's -9 here. Okay, we'll go back to this very hilarious game. I laughed, and I don't think I laughed at the rules and such as much as I laughed at Alan and his friend that were laughing. It was so hilarious. I haven't laughed like that for a long time. Comedy has nothing on these guys. This is good stuff. Anyway, so, let's see, no chance. So there's all these numerical calculations for your score. Like, everything has to be divided fairly. So your score, whatever your score, it depends on your piece. The piece that you choose, and you don't get to know what the rules are about the piece you choose until you've chosen it. So in Communopoly 2, there's these 2 women that are also in the game. It's a 4-player game. And so one of them gets a car. She says, I want the car. And he says, oh, greed. You are greedy. Okay, you can have the car. Now the car, you're a member of the whatever the bureaucracy was, the Politburo, or I don't know, there's a few of these. And so you're a member of this, and I don't know, There was another one, is the thimble. This woman, she watches everybody else go around the room and getting these terrible things that happen because of the piece they've chosen. And so she says, and the girl beside her who took the car, which was really, capitalism. So she picks the thimble. He says, oh, the Stalin guy, he is, he gives you the evil eye. He says, oh, the thimble, you are a member of you are a peasant. Is it not impoverished peasant, but, like a tenant? What is it that they call where Anyway, you are a peasant, and I don't know what the things are, but it's like, you have to divide everything you have with others all the time or something, and you get nothing. But also, one of the rules is that you can never have more than $1,000, and if you have $1,000, you go to jail. And if you get out of jail and you still have $1,000, you go back to jail. And while you're in jail, you have to pay $100 every time it's your turn, because the state is not going to support you in jail. Oh, and when you buy things from the state, when you buy properties from the state, you don't get change. Thank you for your money. Oh my gosh. Anyway, there's so many reasons that you disappear. Like one of the pieces, you are an agent, a foreign agent, or a foreign spy, and if you get into jail, you have to rat out 2 people or something like that, and they go to jail. Or the get out of jail free card is that you get out of jail and someone of your choice goes to jail. Oh yes, the thimble person, she can only roll 1 dice. She doesn't get 2 dice, she just gets 1 dice. So if she gets in jail, she'll never be able to get out, because and if you're in jail and you roll and you get a 1, you disappear. Oh, this is really serious stuff if you had to live in this time. But it is so funny. The look on these people's faces. What? Well, here's the sun. Little darling, here comes the sun. And of course, the sun is exactly opposite to where the moon went down. Do you know that about full moons? I didn't know that when I was young. But when you look at the moon, you can tell where the sun is by the shadow of the earth on the moon, which, gives it a crescent or a waning or waxing or first new or half or whatever moons there are. Anyway, this has been the most hilarious game. I watched it the first time and I didn't understand it because I was also doing something else. But when I watched it the second time, I realized that Dom, who plays Stalin, that he created the game, and so he's here to introduce it to these guys. But he's dressed like Stalin. He has this very straight outfit with buttons down the front. It's orange or something, tannish orange. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, so funny. Such a hilarious game. I have no idea what they've done with other games. When I played Scrabble with Willem, I made my own rules. It's my opinion, when you play a board game, that you own this board game. It's your game. And why should somebody that you don't know, who made all these rules, why should these rules apply to you? It's not like they're from God. It's like somebody out there made all these rules up that you can do this and you can't do that. Well, I'm sorry, but in my home, we make the rules. And we don't have a democracy. Our home it was everybody gets 1 vote except Dad gets 2. So he can overrule anything everybody wants. Well, not anything. Anyway, we used to have family meetings, and we'd all get together and sit down, and we'd have a family meeting about whatever, where to go. We want to do something. We never went on vacations because we could never afford it. And we didn't have staycations either, because that just sounded like a make-work project for me. Like camping. Camping, oh my gosh. Camping is the biggest make-work project out there. I mean, I used to have to pack the car. Well, where do you accumulate the stuff? Do you put it all on the couch somewhere anywhere. Well, um, we had little children, and the little children would come and investigate. Oh, a flashlight! I'm going to shine it on you. Run around the house chasing everybody, shine the flash. No more flashlight for the camping trip. Things would disappear. I did that once. So the next time I got smarter. And it turned out I had to actually pack things right into the car. I'd find the sleeping bags and I'd put them right in the car. I couldn't have any free place to collect things. And what a make work project. Oh my gosh, to take it. And we didn't, we were not people that bought lots of stuff for food, like junk food and stuff. So I had all this canning. So I would bring like a Coleman stove, and I would bring almost a case of canning jars, and there would be peaches and tomatoes and soup and I don't know what stuff I used to can, beans and all these vegetables. And then I would bring, a bag of potatoes, bag of onions, a big pot, spoons. It was such a make work project, and you had to move. We we had so much stuff. We instead of putting the canoe on the car upside down, we put the canoe on the top of the car right side up. And we filled it with bicycles for all these little children. We had 3 little children and 2 teenagers who were not, well, one teenager had already left home. So we had one teenager who did not want to go and who told me afterwards that I promised that if he didn't like it, he could go home. In the end, he did end up hitchhiking away from the camp. And I think he went home. He didn't like it. Well, we had to have the life jackets and bedding. And for me, bedding, I don't want to suffer. So I had this big piece of foam. It was 4 inches thick, and we kept it standing up behind the piano because where else are you going to put it? And the piano was pretty loud. So it was always behind the piano, and it was an upright piano. So we used to take this mattress and bedding, sheets and comforter, and then sleeping bags, and we all ended up on this mattress. But we also had other people that were not on the mattress. They were in sleeping bags. Little children were not as fortunate as I was. Why does that say 7:13? 7:13. Oh, well, we're getting close to this. So they're coming at 8:30, so we still have some time to hang out. People say I should write a book, and I can never figure out what I would write a book about. But I think what I should do is I should go to a video like this, and I should get the show transcript. Like, this is really important. For me, videos are so slow, and I don't even know if what's in them is what I want to know. So you click on the description, you click on more. You have to open the video, but you go to the description, click on more, and then scroll down past the description, and then sometimes there's other things, videos, blah, blah, blah. You go down past that, and you'll see this little rectangular box that says show transcript. So you always click on that, and you can either read along or you can just read it quickly. Because people on these videos talk so slowly, and by the time they've finished their sentence, I have had time to figure out what I'm going to get for dinner, what I need to get at the grocery store. Maybe the cat needs to be fed. And before you know it, I have missed whatever is being said. Not much, of course, but it's gone. Anyway, so I always put on show transcripts so I can go faster, and I also like to speed it up. I like to go up into the little, you click on the video, and you've got this little gear. It looks like a flower. Anyway, you click on the gear, and you go down to playback speed, and it's on normal. Well, if it's something really fascinating and you're trying to write it down as it comes, then you might want to go slower. But usually I need to speed it up so it's much faster. Because I like to think fast. And I don't want to be slowed down by all this stuff. Anyway, so I thought if I was going to write a book, I should go down there and do the show's transcript, and I should select all, if you can do that. I don't know if you can. And then I should write my book using the transcript from my videos. Because I'm all about shortcuts, and I don't know what I would write about. And it would take me a long time to type everything. I could dictate it. Like my journal. I have a journal. livejournal.com. It's a Russian site, though, so I can no longer download my app for it, but the app never worked properly. But my journal is there, and everything is there. All my press trips. Oh, good morning, Tyler. How are you, dear? Anyway, it's all there under my journal. So, so we were talking about camping. You know, some people have been telling me, I've been reading comments. I could never figure out where the comments were. I think in the olden days, like I've been doing this for 18 years this year. In November, it'll be 18 years that I've been making videos. And I have 21,000 videos. Oh, talk about being long-winded. Anyway, this has still got the old sticker on the car from the place we bought it. How come? Have we not had the oil change since we bought it? Huh, I guess we should do that. Anyway, so I've been reading comments. It used to be that you had to go to the video and scroll through to see if there were any new comments. Well, so who can do that? So I didn't. And so now I've been working tirelessly, and I am not tirelessly, but I go through these comments now. Now that we have YouTube Studio, and it's got comments, and you can just go and you can sort them. You started watching me 14 years ago when I was doing how to buy at a supermarket series. Isn't that interesting? I did that in Germany, and 3 times the lady came up to me and told me stop filming. What's going to happen to me? You're going to disappear. Anyway, if you weren't here for the beginning, that relates to the Communopoly. You have to watch that. That is so funny, Communopoly. Anyway, but I haven't been doing chatty videos because there's stuff I cannot talk about, and it is pretty big in my life for the last year and a half after we left our mission to deal with this, and so I can't talk about all that, and that's a big chunk. I also can't have the children in the videos, and I can't really talk about the grandchildren. So all of this is, it keeps me from doing updates, it keeps me from, because I really, and now we have Daniel and Anna are at home, and, well, they're at the airport. They're going to be at the airport soon. They took a red eye, so they're in Toronto. They were in Mexico, having a wonderful time, being warm. Oh, this is so much better than Canada. I felt that way. First year I came to Canada, and it was the 21st of September, and we were lighting the wood stove. And I could understand why people came to Canada, but it was beyond me why they stayed. Why would anybody stay in a place that got so cold so quick? Anyway, here I am, 40-something years later. So I came in 76. I got baptized into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in 76. In 77, I was in Canada and got married. This guy is standing over there by the door spinning his arms like this, one with another. He looks like a fan. I'll turn it around. I see him there. We're seeing his shadow, actually. I think he's trying to warm up since it is -9. Maybe he's going to go for a run. Must be it. I should drive over there and ask if he would like to sit in my car and be warm. I used to come to Ottawa years ago. There's so many videos when I came to Ottawa, and I would do things all day. I had a routine. I would go. There was a few grocery stores I would check, and there was a pet shop that I would go and maybe check on fish. I was into my new pond that we had dug. You know that we had a new pond for $1,000. $1,000. You know, if you are in a city and if you try and generally they're going to charge you, contractor kind of charge you like $30,000 for a pond or some screwy number. But for $100 an hour, you can hire the people that have diggers, and it costs $100 to bring the machine and $100 an hour to dig it. And they can dig a foundation for a house in a morning or a day. So you're at $800 for a foundation of a house. I, however, had them also terrace it with, like all along it, because I didn't want it to be like a bowl. How can you catch frogs like that? Not a chance. Anyway, or go fishing at the edge, or even go swimming. It's too cold to swim in Canada. Shh. It's all frozen still. Anyway, I was going to tell you something. Oh, yes. So these comments. So I'm on 10 years ago now. 6 years. And it's interesting because now I learn how long ago it was that things happened. Like, how long ago did I have my hips replaced? Well, that was when I was answering those comments. It was 6 years ago. So I guess it's 7 years ago, but one of my hips is starting to hurt again. And that is a problem. Like, why would it hurt? What's there to hurt? Like when they removed the hip, they removed the bursa. So there shouldn't be any inflammation in it. I was not going to be having osteoarthritis anymore because that's over. I had nothing that would get it in there. But I did a differential diagnosis on hip pain. I love asking ChatGPT to give me a differential diagnosis on whatever my symptoms are, and it was hip pain. Well, it turns out that the whole hip, the whole bone and joint, the whole thing in there, that whole thing can get loose. I didn't know that could happen. I thought it was going to be permanent forever. But I also decided that if I have inflammation, it's from eating sugar, so I've got to be careful. The grass always looks greener on the other side. You have Willem and your life is unbeatable. I know, my life is so good. I have such a great life, even though I have challenges. It's hard being 68 and watching over grandchildren. I mean, I can do it. Mostly now, I just let them do what they do, and I do what I do. But sometimes we cook together and do other things. We do. I am very interested in their development and their being well-adjusted and high self-esteem and all this. So that's very nice. I was going to tell you, I was reading comments last night, and one comment was from 10 years ago. She's saying that she used to love watching my videos of doing stuff in my kitchen, having to climb up on the freezer to get stuff down off those wooden shelves. See, originally where my kitchen is now, that was the end of the house. The family room is new. So the kitchen had, it was the kitchen, the piano room, Willem's office, that used to be the kitchen. Imagine that. That's where I did my deer on the counter. I would drive along the road and lo and behold, there would be a deer. I almost hit a deer one time, just about. He ran right in front, and I didn't hit him. And my daughter was beside me, and I said, and it was a cold, rainy night and dark, and I said, I'm so glad we didn't hit that deer. Have to be here with a broken car in this rotten weather. And and she said, I'm so glad it's not in the trunk. Oh my gosh, the things my children had to live through. I have a daughter-in-law who is she's very proper, and she's a city girl. And when my son brought her home to meet the family, I had this big bathtub under the counter. Do you remember that? Your kitchen, you had cans up in the air like a roller coaster. I did. I thought that was so good because they could all roll. Every time you used a can, it was food storage, right? Like our church has taught us always that we should have a year's supply of food on hand, and you should rotate it. And well, you can't store lettuce, but you can store seeds, and you can grow your stuff in your illuminated room if you want. You know, have a garden. Having a garden is very important. You should be self-reliant. You should not need to rely on the dole or the government. You should be able to. Anyway, so I thought I was so smart. I put a shelf up there, and I had all these cans that rolled downhill. It was perfect. It was really good, because then I could actually, it's not good for them to sit in the same position forever. And it was also a good way to rotate them. Oh my goodness. Now we have Ava. Ava is so good. She's so good. She organizes. She is the best organizer. She organized my sunroom. And there's all this soap making stuff that I never use. And I think, you guys are my inspiration. Like, there's only so long I can sit and talk to you before I have to get up and do something. And so I'll say something like, well, why don't we just go make soap? And so we do. We get our calculator, soap calc out, and soapcalc.net was my place I would check. I have lard. Lard has been on sale, like for $2.50 or something. I don't know what it used to be, but it's not like that anymore. It's like $5. I never used lard, but it's awesome for making soap. Makes the very best soap. But you have to cut it right away. You can't wait because it could get crumbly. It could get really brittle. So you have to be careful not to add too much lye. Anyway, but so talking to you guys has always been my inspiration. I think, okay, what can I show you? Well, let's do this. And I made all that soap, and I still have $400 worth of fragrance oils and essential oils, jugs, like a liter, which cost me $60. A liter. You go to the store and you get this little tiny vial of 5 ml or 3 ml or something like that for $10, right? Well, this was 1,000 ml. Is that right? 1,000 ml is a liter? Milliliter, mil. Doesn't that mean 1,000, or is it 100? 100, whatever. I just got another. You got to be careful of these scams. Like on Facebook, there's these people that go around posing as nice men. And they tell you these lovely things about yourself. Oh, you're so pretty. I've been watching you for a while, following you. Oh, could you please friend me? I would just love to be able to talk to you. Well, this person is making that comment after every person's comment in there. And even if you don't notice that that's what they're doing, often they're people that are very dressed up, men in a suit, or often a military uniform. And the idea is to make you fall in love with them, and then they are so rich, so rolling in money. And if you just give them your bank information, they'll send you lots of money. Well, good luck with that. Lots of people. I have this woman I visit, and he's cleaned her out over and over. And anyway, oh no, it wouldn't be him. No, 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 no. He doesn't need my money. He's got lots of money. Why would he need my money? And these are long cons. I heard something yesterday about people that are doing these scams. They get scammed and then they get sort of imprisoned by the scammers and they have to scam. And there's these huge buildings of all these scammers who are prisoners having to scam. I can't remember exactly how you get from here to there, but you got to be so careful about anything online. Don't put your bank information on your phone. I mean, what a stupid idea to do online banking. These hackers, they can do all kinds of stuff. Once they find out your email password, they got everything. Yes, the other day, I went to change my password. It said I had a data breach. And so I went to change the password, and it suggested this really, really complicated password. So I went ahead. Yeah, go ahead. We'll try that because I'm going to ask for a new password every time anyway. Well, the next time, there are a lot of lonely, gullible people in the world, indeed. So I changed this password, and then I was logged out. No, I wasn't logged out. Yes, I guess I don't know. Anyway, I couldn't get into my account because I wanted my password, and I didn't know what my password was, and I hadn't saved it. And I thought I was locked out. It was going to send me a get better soon card, whatever thing, in my email. And I couldn't get into my email because it's Google. And so I was locked out of everything Google. I was locked out of YouTube. I could not access my YouTube studio. I could not access my accounts. I couldn't make any more videos. And I was getting, I asked my son, who is, is IT, and he said, well, they're going to send in 6 hours. Well, it was going to go to my email. It wasn't going to work. And so then I asked for it to go to my phone. So it went to my phone, but then it said that I had clicked no on my phone. I didn't even get it on my phone. I thought, what's going on here? Somebody hacked the phone number? Oh my gosh. Anyway, after much dreadful feelings for a while, feelings of resignation, I was going to have to create a new account, Nancy Today 2, because Nancy Today 1 is taken. Imagine that. Somebody crafty has taken my Nancy Today 1 and has 57 of my videos in a playlist there. Anyway, so I was going to have to be Nancy Today 2 and make videos there. Well, was anybody ever going to see them? Would I ever find all my people again? How in the world was this? Anyway, you can see my situation, my feelings. So in the end, I was able to, hey, so their flight left 20 minutes ago from Toronto. These poor folks, they took a red eye. I don't know why I feel bad for them because it was their choice, but they've been in airports all night. I got a call last night and there was an airport behind them. It was like 8:15 last night or something, and they were in an airport. I could see all the screen stuff behind them, Don't forget to come and get us. Just wanted to remind you we're coming home. I haven't heard from them if there's any delays or not, but I would have heard that right now if there were. If I have to go quickly, it'll be because they're calling me or something. It's getting cold in my car, so I'm going to burn some gas and be warm because I am so selfish. Anyway, so I was able to get back in because when it asked for the password, and I knew that if I clicked on passwords, I'd get the old password because I'd done that 2 times and it was rejecting it. there was a key over to the side, and I clicked on the key, and there was this newfangled password. It might be safer to use your phone than to use your computer, but I think if you use the old-fashioned telephone and you do your banking online like that, or telephone banking, I don't know. But if, you know, I take my laptop with me places, like here it is right here, in case I feel like playing Minecraft. Writing in my journal and playing Minecraft. Those are my two things I do, which keeps me content. I can be anywhere, and as long as I have my journal or Minecraft, I'm fine. Anyway, I just think it's so dangerous. Well, I think if you used it on your laptop and you don't save your bank card, that's probably okay. But I'm not sure, because password strokes can be, you know, there's all this way to, it's like the Gadianton robbers. They're everywhere, taking everything they can get. So you have to be so smart. A gallon of gas in Canada today, I think it's $1.54 a gallon today. No, a liter, not a gallon. So there's 3.5 liters in a gallon. Did you know that an American gallon is bigger than a British gallon? Yes, indeed. Stir that around. So these people that have been here waiting for, oh my gosh, look at this person. Oops. Look at this. In memory of those who died waiting for the airplane to arrive. Should I call 911? Is there someone in this car too? No? People have nice looking cars in Canada. Except mine. I have this awesome car. I wrote on it, I put on it clunker art, and I have these butterflies painted on the big, huge butterflies on the door, and the children painted stuff on the hood, which kind of looks pretty, you know, whatever. I shouldn't say bad things about children's art, but they weren't accurate, shall we say. And I thought, instead of putting clunker art on the car, I should put on the back, trail widening vehicle. And I should also have on the back somewhere, lead parade car. Enjoy. You're in the parade now. I should say, welcome to my parade. Oh, they're going to come home. I'm going to have these fun people in my house again. Anna cooks. She cooks every day. She cooks meat and soup with vegetables in it and rice every day at about 11:30 in the morning. And then she says, food is ready. Food is ready. She's so cool. Well, we also have all these cats now. Everybody's been telling me, get the cats spaded, get them spaded, spade, or neuter. Well, do you know that people are buying kittens for $150? $150. You know why? Because nobody has kittens. All the cats are spayed or neutered. What do you call it? The female, you spay the female and you neuter. He has a pillow on his steering wheel. He knows what he's doing. No, is that a pillow? I don't think so. I think it's a woman. Look, here comes a time-sensitive announcement. PU, which is pickup, Dan and Enna today, 8:40, Air Canada, Toronto. That's where they're coming from. But I'm just going to wait in the cell phone parking lot for them. And they can run out to the car, and I will get out and give them their coats, I have kept the coats in the car while they've been gone. Just make sure they're nice and toasty warm. Put them up here over the heater. Where's Dan's coat? That's back here. Ugh. I mean, there's nothing worse than going to be warm and then having to get out in the cold. You know, once I told you this, but used to be we had an older airport. We had an airport that got old. Anyway, and and that old airport would you had to walk outside to get to the airport. To get to the plane, there were certain terminals or certain gates where you walked to the gate and then you walked across the parking lot. And you know, there could be lots of snow. It could be snowing, it could be -20, anything. So this security guy is now here checking on whatever he's checking on. International Airport, Ottawa security. He spent a moment looking here. Let's look again. Is this really a pillow? Or is it just a nice... I don't know. It's pretty well shaped like the steering wheel. So it must be the steering wheel has a thing on it. They were here when I got here. I've been here for a while. How long have I been talking? 46 minutes. I think first thing I did when I got here was show you the moon set and the sunrise, which is now high up in the sky. Is it? There it is. The reflection of it is really high, but the actual sun is down there, I think. So I think that I'm going to have to actually, if I'm going to write a book, I'm going to have to actually do it. But I get so involved. Minecraft is so wonderful for me. I mean, I know, Tyler, you're always telling me, you know, it's a bad thing to sit so much and do this. But you know what? In the winter, I end up sitting anyway. You know, whether I'm sitting watching stuff, or even if I were reading or something. But I'm just not interested in cleaning up my house. Often my house is tidy already, and if it's not, I might not want to do it. Oh, really? And you're willing to admit such a thing? I got so much grief over these last 18 years about my messy house. You know, I would be talking to you guys and I'd say, let's make birch bark baskets. And the next thing you know, I've got all the birch bark I've ever gathered and I'm laying it under books and stacking it up in my kitchen on this old table I had. I had this wonderful old table. I pulled it out of the garbage dump. It was actually dumped. And I had other stuff on it. I got it out of there, brought it home, and it was a wonderful table. I really loved it. Anyway, and I used to do all my work on that stuff. And so my dishes would be stacked up behind me because, you know, keeping up after, well, there were 7 people. I guess my daughter really didn't live here. She was already moved out and she was 16. So I had an official observer. Well, good morning. I have to build a house. I don't like sitting in it to make me, oh, wait a minute. I have to build a house. I don't like sitting. It makes me have leg pain. Us with lots of children are allowed a messy home. Yes, indeed. So I had 5 kids. 4 of them were at home for many years. And there were 10 years between the first 2 and the rest. They're now 30, 32, and 34. That's really old when you have children and you talk about your children, you know. How old are your kids? Oh, 7, 10, 12, oh, 30. Oh, no wonder you have white hair. I'm trying to figure out how old people are now by looking at the color of their hair and the amount of wrinkles they have. Because it's when you're in your 60s, about the time you turn maybe 65, your skin gets thin and starts to fall off. I realized what changed my looks so much is I got rid of my teeth, and so I got these little teeth. But I think my jaw used to be bigger. Anyway, who cares? I don't have to look at myself except when I'm making videos. Then I'm curious what's going on here. Anyway, I love my church. I have a great church. And I give everybody a hug. And we all give each other hugs. A body in motion stays in motion. A body at rest lays at rest. Well, there is something to that. I've gotten more careful lately. I don't want to walk where it's icy and sometimes the snow is slippery. Like I could walk around this parking lot. In fact, I think I'll probably get off of here in a while and I'll start walking laps around this parking lot. That's a good idea. But I can't walk laps around my house. I mean, I can on the deck, and I do that. Our kids are around the same age. Oh, is that right? Well, I've been reading comments, and people that loved my old kitchen the way it was. People have always said that, and it's like, well, I'm sorry, but this is the way it is now, and I can't get it back. But it is very nice to have it looking clean. It's a very socially acceptable kitchen, extremely socially acceptable. Well, were you here when I moved my kitchen? Maybe that was before you guys. Before 18 years ago, 68, 58, 48. I don't know. Anyway, I had a kitchen. It was where the piano is. And then I moved it to the other room. I invited my friend over and I said, we're going to work in the kitchen. And when she got there, I handed her the blowtorch and I said, we're going to do some copper plumbing. And she said, what? How? I can't do this. Anyway, I taught her how to do it. We did just fine. So I plumbed it and I put the washer and dryer out there and opened the door and heated it up and put the freezer in there. I guess the freezer and the washer and dryer were already in there. If I'm going to have the heat on and the car on, so I have the heat on, I should keep the car off when I don't need the heat. So lately, my son and I are building a gazebo. I always wanted a gazebo I went to visit one of my friends years ago and she had this little gazebo down by the river and I just thought, wow, that's so cool. Wish, wish, wish. Anyway, now my son is an object in motion. Anyway, so we're now building a gazebo down there by one of the ponds. And it's not going to be very big. And he's got these posts with screws on the end of them, like they're about this big around, but they hold like 5,000 pounds each. So we're screwing them in, and it's going to be up above the wetland, so it's not going to impact the wetland at all. It's just going to be a building there. And so we're putting these screws down, and it's so nice to sit there and watch the spring and the waterfall, and one day maybe fish in the pond from the gazebo, have a destination. And it's where I get cell service down there. Not quite in that exact spot, but it's so I can make videos from there. I can talk to you. Isn't that nice? Okay, it's getting hot in here. I'll turn off the car again. How long till it gets cold out? It's really cold outside. What is it now? Sorry, I have to wait for it to turn on again. It's -5. It was -9 when I left home. I think it's supposed to be -3 when they get here in 40 minutes. So I'm going to sit here in the parking lot and wait for them to call. I just hope that they have cell service when they get here. I hope everything works so that they can actually contact me. If they haven't contacted me and they're too late, then maybe I'll go circle or something. I didn't bring my wallet. Who does that? I didn't bring it. Oh, yes, I did. Oh, I have a credit card. I could actually park. But if I park, then I have to walk in. And if I walk in carrying their coats, it's that much further that they have to be walking outside in the cold weather. the projects I have nowadays, I love my projects. Oh my gosh, I just love projects. The next big goal, like I had a big goal and I did it. What was that? I forget what it was. The first thing I wanted to accomplish once once I was able to go walking down there again, I cleaned out Grandma's cottage. So it's a nice place now, except it's really decaying. It's not going to be long before the roof falls in. So it's almost time to have it dragged away. But it looks sort of tidy in there now anyway. But there was another big project I had. I wanted to finish the baskets. I've made 4 baskets, I think, willow baskets, with the willow I cut last autumn. The airport is crazy. You can't stop where they come out for 1 second. It's chilly out, but sunny. Yes, it's chilly and sunny. But I have my warm coat, and I brought my other parka, which is it's in the back. I should probably carry all 3 of them and hand it to Enna. She's probably going to be the coldest. It was 31 in Mexico. 31, that's like hot and sticky. At 31, yuck. I don't want to have a day of 31. 20 is room temperature, 22. That's the nice temperature. If it's 25 in the house, it's a bit warm. But if you're cold, like I kept getting my foot wet yesterday when we were working on our swampy gazebo. My boot has a hole in it. So the boot is now on the table to go to the dump. Oh, I've introduced Enna to the dump. The dump is not only a place to get stuff, it's also a place for looking at this woman sleeping over there in her car. I'll show you again. She hasn't moved a muscle. She is out like a light. She probably is picking up her husband who is showing up at the airport. Maybe he's on the 8:30 flight from Toronto as well. My she shed is 30 Celsius right now. I open the window and crack the door open. So where are you? Are you in Ottawa? They're young and tough. They can handle the cold for a little bit. Oh, you're right. I know. I've walked in the, but they are really used to it being warm. So there was one project that I really wanted to accomplish as soon as it got warm out, and I did it. I have no idea what it was. Oh well, here today, gone tomorrow. So the next project I have, I'm going to cut the tall willow, and I'm going to weave it. Oh, you rent in Ottawa, but land north of Atlanta. Oh, really? Isn't that neat? I met a woman from there once. Sometimes people recognize me from YouTube. I was in a parking lot in town once. And and I was walking across the park. I was getting in my car, and some man from way over on the other side, he called me, "Hi, Nancy, how's everything going?" And I had no idea who he was. But I think he introduced himself to me once, that he watched me on YouTube. It's kind of embarrassing. It's okay if people from all across the world, but if people are right where you are, it's a little bit, there was one guy that came to the house once. They drove right by. They found me on Google Earth, and they drove right down my driveway and then commented to me, and I was like, got the heebie-jeebies. Anyway, so I try to keep it all very, not where I live, not where I shop. Ottawa's okay because Ottawa's a big city. Even if I lived in Ottawa, people wouldn't be able to find me in Ottawa. I mean, try finding somebody you want to find. Look at the sun is shining on my hair. It's looking golden. Isn't that beautiful? Goldilocks. There we go. Rapunzel, Rapunzel. You know, hair only grows to a certain length. Everybody's got a certain maximum that their hair will grow to. And this is mine. And after it gets to this length, it just starts to get thin on the ends. And I always end up cutting it. But I'm not going to cut it this time. I'm going to see if it'll get really long. Maybe it'll only have 2 long threads left. 2 long hairs. But it's almost 8 o'clock. It's interesting watching other people. You know, sometimes I go down to my grass hut settlement at the highway, and I hang out there and I just watch the traffic. Or I climb the ladder. I have a ladder on the side of my teepee. It's a big teepee. It's about 19 feet high at the top. So I climb up this ladder and I just lean against the teepee on the grass. I lean against it and I watch the traffic. It's just very interesting. It's the only people I ever see is the traffic, and I don't even hear them anymore because my hearing is, I have these really loud cicadas that sing in my ears all the time. Now, if I took the transcript for this and I put it as, you know, another chapter in the book, or you know, like there's so many topics I have touched on. I'd have to organize it, but I guess I could. I used to be a writer. I liked being a writer. I liked writing. It took all my focus. And then at tax time, when I realized that I had made $8,000 in a year and I had spent like 40 hours a week or more writing, and I thought, what? I'm not doing this anymore. I'm working for $10,000, $7,000 a year. That's stupid. But when I did the travel writing, that was a different thing. Because I went everywhere. Not everywhere. I had 35 trip of a lifetimes. Just lovely trips. But I always had to take myself along. And I didn't have, I had kind of bad self-esteem compared to the other people that worked for, you know, really big fancy magazines and like National Geographic. And I would immediately think, oh, well, how could I ever compete with them? But it didn't matter because I was on the trip and they were on the trip. And what difference does it make? Because it was the same trip. But somehow I felt inferior. It's so much nicer to be retired and not to have to deal with people because I don't feel inferior. I know this woman that has 10 children. She comes to the dump. I'm sure we cross paths at events. I used to be a greenhouse and organic vegetable grower at farmers markets. Interesting. Maybe we did. Maybe I met you at Mira. I find that meeting people, YouTube people, it's never the same afterwards. I don't know if it's they that's changed or me, but who they think I am because of my videos is different from who I am when I'm actually visiting with you. And some people I'm friends with after making that. Is that true about your hair, or is that an old wife? No, it's true about my hair. And it's true about other people's hair too. Like other people, there's certain people that always can grow their hair and it goes very, very long. But my hair only ever gets this long. And it's just, it's not an old wives' tale, except I'm an old wife. And it is a tale I'm telling you. Which brings me back to Communopoly. You have to go watch Communopoly #1. It's so good. Yep. If you don't bribe the guy at the checkpoint, you go to jail. The Rose, the 10 children mother you're thinking of, I'm sure We're not the same people. Oh, you have the 10 children? Wow. I love you. Anyway, so I saw this person with 10 children, and I asked her, do you get flack when people find out how many kids you are? Oh, yes. So we'll just tell them you're raising taxpayers. And I thought about my 5 taxpayers. Well, does this one pay taxes? No, actually, this one isn't working. This other one, is this one paying taxes? Well, this one, he's got a lot of tax breaks. Did it work? I don't know. Okay, it's almost 5 after 8. Yes, we have this awesome dump. Oh, you have 5 kids. Okay, 5 kids. Yes, raising taxpayers. That's the good line for anyone that will bother you about your choices. And that shaming, mother shaming, it was, it must have been like when I grew up, it was the thing, you should only have 2 children. The world is too populated. You should not contribute to overpopulation. And my sister would say, well, I'm not having children, you're having mine. So, this evens out. But now, are you into these statistics at all? Like, people are not having children. People are not getting married. And from what I hear, there's these dating apps where people put in what they want in a man. He has to be really tall, 6 feet, I guess, always, or more. Has to make at least $200,000 or more. And have to have a beautiful, wonderful profile picture, and I'm not sure what else. And certainly not fat. But the women are so picky about who they'll marry that men are giving up on even getting married. I mean, they just go to a bar and go home with somebody. I mean, why get married? Why buy the cow when you've already got milk for free, right? Marriage is really important. But people have substituted careers for families, or they're trying to juggle them both. Being a single mom is no picnic. There's no end, and there's no help. It's really difficult. And to be a woman with a career and a family, well, I could never even think like that. I just wanted to be a mom at home. Children love having their mom at home. To play with her. The first thing the kids say when they come in the door, "Hi, Mom. Are you home? Where are you?" And then as soon as they know you're there, then they're fine. They drop their stuff, they go play. But when Mom's not home, it's an empty house, and being bounced around daycares and different, I don't know. I just thought that I wanted to be a mom at home. My mom worked, but she was kind of a mom at home. But I guess she really wasn't, because she worked every day. So she wasn't a mom at home at all. But I just thought that I wanted to give my children the very best. And so I wanted to give them all of me. And that worked really well until they found out how flawed I was, and that became their focus. Not doing what you say. You're the enemy. Oh, that was really hard. These children that you've loved for so long and you've devoted yourself to, and then they turn into teenagers and they hate you. And they have to have this sort of, in order to justify moving out, and the new age idea is you are in therapy all your life. You've got to heal the trauma. Oh, this is so good for healing you. What do you have to be healed from? Good grief. But if you didn't have a mom, who would you blame everything on? Oh, it's the way I was raised. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. They always did this. I had a stay-at-home mom 7 of use. I was thinking how many diapers, changes, dishes, washing us. Oh, 7 of us. Yes, yes, those diapers, they were endless. I used cloth diapers for the first 2. And then for the next 3, I was married to Willem, who had more money than my farmer husband. And I used disposables. And I just did not, I thought it was terrible to use disposables, but I was tired of washing diapers. It was too much, I guess. But I tried. I made our food. Part of being a stay-at-home mom was that you had to live cheaper. You couldn't have what everybody had because you had to. They say American society is becoming unsociable because of cell phones and internet. Perhaps, but I am. When I grew up, my father had a newspaper and my mother had every magazine under the sun. And my father would read the Atlanta Journal, and then he would read the Atlanta Constitution, and eventually they combined, and it was the Atlanta Journal and Constitution. But he would read those, and he would read the Athens Banner Herald, and then there was the New York Times, and what else did he read? Well, he had all the Geographical Review, Time Magazine, Newsweek, The Economist, some Observer. There was something about animals, Conservationist. And my mother would read Reader's Digest, Prevention Magazine, Women's Day, Red Book. She would read everything. And she would read The Economist and Time Magazine and Newsweek and the Athens Banner Herald. So, well, my kids, I didn't have cell phones, but when my kids, if they're on their cell phone, are they on their cell phone like my parents were on their books? And my sister, she was quite an academic. She would always have her nose in a book, War and Peace when she was in grade 5. And she read everything, Gone with the Wind, grade 4. She just read and read and read. And my parents, we had millions of books in the house. So she read all of Bookhouse Historical, the history of the earth and the history of civilization. Hi, Skinnerd girl. Hi, Nancy. It's so nice to see you today. I have 3 children and I'm a career woman. Trauma operating room. Oh my gosh. I was always the top earner in my former marriage. It's not what I planned. Wow. Well, I know that as a mom at home, I got diaper brain, I would call it, and then I called it oatmeal brain. And then when I'd speak to somebody that with some intelligence that had something to talk about other than children with runny noses and how much they threw up all over all the clothes and how much laundry I had to do. When I have a real conversation with somebody that had a mind, it was really stimulating. And then I would say somebody had stirred the oatmeal. But I used to go, when Willem would work, I'd go into town, I'd bring my kayak, and I'd kayak on the Ottawa River, or the Rideau River. I think it was it was the Rideau River. And I would kayak on the canal, and I would make baskets while I kayaked. I'd keep all my basketry materials in the water. How many times did I actually do that? Did I do it a lot of times? Did I do it just once? It's like when you remember these wonderful things that you did, you think that you did them all the time. But did I really? I like to kayak. I think I brought the kayak in on the car for a few times. But there were these other things that I would do. I would come to Ottawa. I would go to the stained glass stuff was one place, and Northern Glass was another. I'd always go to them, buy a little glass for my stained glass making, and I'd go to the grocery stores, and I made the mistake of going to IKEA. Oh my gosh. It's okay if you've got a walker or if you want to walk 5 miles. What an interesting... But I would just come into town and I would just spend the day enjoying the day. And when we lived in Ottawa, I would take my children who were in there. We had a double stroller. And I had a double stroller and one holding on. Elida, Daniel, and Abraham. My little people. And still, like Daniel and Anna, I'm picking them up in 15 minutes they land, 20 minutes they land. And I'm, make sure my volume is high. I still call them the kids. I will pick up the kids. I mean, otherwise I have to call them Daniel and Anna. The kids is easier. Daniel and Anna, the kids. I don't know, there's something easier about it. I've had an amazing life. And you guys have been a big part of it, you know. You were there when I had my heart attack. I don't think you were there when I had my hysterectomy. When I got renovated. They renovated both bathrooms, took out the nursery. I was even partly awake. I watched in this, it wasn't really a mirror of any sort, but there was something I could see a reflection of, and I could see him stitching. But I wasn't really awake. I was out. I love dreaming. Do you like dreaming? I love going to sleep and dreaming. So now we have somebody else here. This big truck here. No front license plate. Uh-oh. Oh, this is the person to clean up. Oh, another cleaning up person. Must thank them. Thank you for cleaning up. I mean, it's really nice. If you weren't doing it, they would be overflowing. It would be a... it would,
like there.
Yeah, it would be crummy like that.
Uber, Russ, cakes.
Uber
drivers.
Oh, really?
We got 5 garbage cans in there, and they put everything everywhere.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep. Is
Well,
that garbage can empty?
Well, thank you for your service. It's amazing.
You got to pick it up because if it lands in the motor of a plane, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Across there, they don't care.
And I guess that's why the gate, the wire fence is here to keep the trash from blowing?
Oh, yeah, and plus people going running after planes or whatever.
Oh.
We had a few of them.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Running after a plane?
Oh, yeah.
Trying to catch it?
Trying to catch it or trying to commit suicide, one or the other.
Good grief.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
that's what we do. When there's no snow, that's what we do. Pick up garbage.
Yeah?
But we do the garbage cans every day,
Uh-huh.
twice a day.
Uh-huh.
Once at night and once in the morning.
You know, Ottawa's the cleanest city I've ever been in. And it's not because the people are all perfectly clean. I think it's because people like you.
Well, we try to do our best.
Yeah, well, it's working. Thank you.
Thank you.
You too. Nope, the trash is gone. Good job, eh? I always try and thank people that serve us. The people that nobody really appreciates because, you know, they're not the fancy people with the fancy suit and you know. But they are the ones that make it a beautiful place. If it weren't for them, it would be like Detroit. I went to Detroit. You know, you cross the border. At least years ago when the road was always very broken. And there was trash everywhere. Everywhere. There's fences and they would always have lots of trash. Well, I think it's very important that we pay people to take care of things like that. I think that sometimes trash gets away from people. But there's also people that actually just dump their trash. Like at my grass hut cottage, my grass hut settlement, the teepee on the highway, when I go by there, you know, like somebody likes Oh, this person is woken up. They are no longer sleeping against the wheel. Ah, it's getting time. Yes, indeed. It is now almost 20 after. Um, these people, they must eat Kentucky Fried Chicken, and it must take them just as long until they get to my teepee before they're finished eating and ready to tidy up their car. And they throw all these Kentucky Fried Chicken boxes and cups out. And there's a lot of people that drink Monster drinks. These Monster energy drinks, I guess people just don't have enough energy. People are tired. They're overwhelmed, overworked, overstressed, or maybe they just like the stimulation. I don't know. I never tried one. We use these little ones, 5-hour energy, and I'll open it and I'll have a sip, and that's enough. One sip. If I'm doing stuff like I've got to, work hard and pick things, just doing stuff. But not usually. Mostly I use it to stay awake in the temple or driving. And just little bits. Or I'll take a whole container and I'll add it to a jug of water. So it's just a little bit. I'm starting to feel anxious. It's 20 after 8. I suppose I may see it land. You have to arrive at the airport 3 hours ahead of time if it's an international flight. But if you find out what time the airport opens, like the airport doesn't open till 5:30. So if your flight is at 7, you can't be here 3 hours early. So there's no sense arriving before the airport is open. So that's a good idea to keep in mind. Look at my golden spot on my hair. Isn't that nice? Oh, I was going to tell you about my pregnant cats. So I have been feeding the cats outside. You know that, right? And they're getting so big, and I thought they were just getting fat, but actually they are getting big, but fat. But they're also pregnant, and their bellies are like sticking way out. I was like, anyway, so there's Spot and Saddle and Tabby. Those are the ones that like me. And then there's this one that's very skittish and angry. And he is small, and she fights everybody, and nobody dares be around when she comes to eat. Shadow. Well, they're all pregnant. 4 pregnant cats. Plus, Daniel thought it was fun to have Meowkiss get pregnant too with Mongol. So they live in the house. So we have 5 litters of kittens due soon. But these people are selling kittens for $150. So it's because nobody's got pregnant cats, because all the pregnant cats have been neutered. So I'm going to have 5. How many kittens does a cat have? If they all had 5, that would be 25 kittens. Now I could become very rich. I won't even sell one. If I sold one, I would probably end up just giving it away. I wouldn't do that. $150. But I could find out what they're worth. I talked to somebody who has a farm and said, I might be interested in one. She said that people are selling them for $150. That's what a kitten is worth. You see, that's what, people aren't having children. The animals aren't having puppies or kittens. No, those are bad. Of course, I like birds, and we need the birds. And if we demolish our birds, then we have bugs, and the bugs will eat the trees, and the trees will die. And then we have dead trees, and we need trees for shade, for oxygen, for global warming or global climate change or whatever it is. Trees are important. So birds are important. We call those people litter bugs in America. Yes, that's right. Being a trauma operating nurse, that's interesting. That's really interesting. You must have seen everything. Blood, guts, and gore. Blood, guts, and gore. Blood, 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 blood. Blood, 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 guts, and gore. You know, you make up some good little songs when you got kids. We're taking it to the dump, the dump, the dump. We're taking it to the dump, the dump. Well, you can come and get a kitten then. The dump, the dump, the dump. We're taking it to the dump. We have a beautiful yellow cat, yellow Tom, and a black Tom, and then a tabby Tom. And the tabby Tom, we saw him before Christmas, and that was all. And the black Tom, the orange Tom was around a month ago maybe, or 2 months ago. I don't know, the months go like weeks, hard to tell. And then the black Tom was there just recently. But I thought the tabby was pregnant. She was in heat very recently. So how could she be pregnant if she was just in heat? I mean, pregnant now, but... Oh, lots of traffic leaving the airport now. 23 after. They're going to be here soon. Better warm up my car again. Make sure they've got warm coats to wear. Don't want them to have to not like Canada because it's too cold. It's nice to spend time with you, having a little update going on here. So, if you have any ideas for what I should put in my book, that would be fun. I should probably just go through my videos. I don't even want to go through them. I mean, where do you start? The playlists, there's over 500 playlists, and every playlist has hundreds of videos in it. And they're all wonderful. Nobody wanted me to delete a single one. I wonder if all the very short ones became shorts. You know, that would be interesting to find out. So there's all the taxi drivers over there waiting. I'll show you. There they are. There's this place you can go. I don't know where it is exactly, but so they're coming in from Toronto. Toronto is to the, Ottawa is up here. Toronto is to the west. So there's the east, so there's the west. Right, where the moon set, that was the west. So come in. How is that possible? I don't know. Anyway, so I guess I should get off now because, you know, otherwise I'm going to have to abandon you in a few minutes. Thank you for being here. It's been really nice. Okay, I'm going to go for a little walk around this parking lot. Bye-bye.